So I don't know if I want to call myself the reason. I think Erika's the reason. I think ultimately, if it would have been for Erika being here, probably God wouldn't have got Charlie to nudge him to be here. But
people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
Erika and Charlie are one. Charlie is one with Erika. So it's such a natural fit. He had always looked up to Erika. He had always boosted Erika.
This just in. And this situation is unraveling in a way no one saw coming. Erika Kirk appeared in Las Vegas and openly embraced Tyler Boer, without hesitation, without subtlety, in a moment that many say all but confirmed he's being positioned as the next version of Charlie Kirk. And this is the same Tyler Boer who was already being linked to the internal issues Charlie himself had reportedly started examining before everything spiraled. But before we get into why that Las Vegas moment hit so hard, we need to go back and untangle how this entire triangle between Erika, Tyler, and Charlie was built in the first place. Tyler's version has always sounded clean and simple. He says Erika reached out in 2018 out of the blue, said she wanted to get involved politically, and he simply helped open doors for her.
The calls I got was from Erika. She's like, hey, I was Miss Arizona. I love Donald Trump. Can I be involved? I'm like, absolutely.
He brought her closer to Trump, gave her visibility, and later introduced her to Charlie.
She's faith-based. She's so centered on Christ. We've got to lean in and involve her here because we were starting the initial talks about Turning Point Faith or TPUSA Faith.
But the moment you start lining that version up against everything else that's surfaced, it starts falling apart, because Erika herself let something slip. And not just once.
I was today years old whenever I realized that Tyler Boer said that Charlie moved to Arizona for Erika, even though they haven't met yet.
She referred to Tyler as a family friend.
So we had met through a family friend. He had invited me to the office opening for Turning Point USA.
And that single phrase changes everything. That's not how you describe someone you randomly contacted for an opportunity. But it doesn't stop there. The way Tyler positioned himself inside Erika and Charlie's relationship is where it starts to feel even more controlled. He didn't just introduce them. He shaped the entire interaction.
And he had set up a date to go meet her at the gym. Because it's a fancier, nicer gym that's in the North Valley. And I took him over and I dropped him off there. And it was the whole car ride over there was pep talks. All right, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to say. Hey, if she says this, don't do that. And he's like, well, what do I do?
He literally coached Charlie before their first date, sat him down, and gave him a full rundown on what to say, how to act, and how to handle her.
She could be great. She could be wonderful. And Charlie was immediately in love.
And it gets even stranger. Tyler has openly said he believed Charlie moved to Arizona because of Erika before they had even properly met. But here's the problem. Charlie said they met at a Turning Point office opening.
I met Erika for the first time at this office, Turning Point USA office.
So we met at the office opening, the Turning Point headquarters office opening, the first one, August 2018. And I had no idea what to expect because I was coming into the office from the standpoint of they were potentially going to hire me.
I knew of Erika. I saw Erika and we had a very brief meeting.
Erika says he DM'd her out of nowhere while she was in the Hamptons.
I get a random DM on Instagram and you never know, like, if these people are the real people or whatever. Anyway, so it was Charlie. It was in my DMs and he was like, hey, I'm in New York. I want to sit down and talk to you about the faith stuff. I have a Fox hit, total like name drop. I have a Fox hit to do in the city. And then I need to meet with you afterwards.
Then there's yet another version where she says she spotted him at an airport while traveling with her mom.
Standing there at the ticket line, and there was a guy who was checking out with the guy, you know what I'm talking about. Get your ticket, check your bag. And I see him and I was like, I tell my mom, I was like, that guy looks really familiar. And my mom was like, go say hi.
3 different origin stories for the same relationship. Now let's move to the part that people can't ignore anymore. The money. Repeated claims from insiders say millions were missing from accounts connected to Turning Point Action, the exact side of the organization Tyler was heavily involved in. And the number people keep circling is around $10 million.
Charlie told this individual that he was establishing Doge because $10 million was missing. Okay. I went to Justin Strife when there was communication between us two, the COO, and I specifically asked about that. I said, I heard this, and this person definitely knows Charlie, he knows Erika. And, is there any truth to this? They said, no, that's not true.
But then the narrative began to shift. People who first denied it reportedly started walking that back. And insiders began saying that yes, there were financial discrepancies.
Fast forward to today, and they fired a lot of people, and, a lot of people are speaking. And somebody who was within Turning Point USA confirmed to me that money was indeed missing out of Turning Point USA. I can back that up 100%, which is why I'm saying it publicly, that there were millions missing out of Turning Point USA. And they were wondering where that money was going.
And it goes even deeper. Erika's mother, Lori, was reportedly placed on the board of a tech-related company tied to that same ecosystem.
The reason why I'm bringing that up, and the reason why it's coming to my mind, is because Tyler Boer has a relationship with Lori. And Lori was put on the board of, what's that company, whatever it's called, that collects data, and nobody really kind of knows what it does. Was it like AZ Tech or something like that?
She was reportedly placed there. And Tyler already had a relationship with her as well. And after Charlie's death, people began noticing that Tyler's public energy felt off. Old clips resurfaced of him talking about excitement and direction, while other people were still trying to process what had happened.
Charlie Kirk is looking down at us right now, and he's really excited about all of the action that's happening right now. Really excited. He is so excited. The only thing is he wishes he was here to tell us exactly what to do. He liked doing that.
That did not sit right with a lot of people. At that point, the question was no longer just how Erika and Tyler knew each other. The real question became, who benefits from what happened next? And that brings us right back to Las Vegas. Erika stepped out and wasted no time making a statement. She walked on stage and then, out of nowhere, went straight in for a hug, and people immediately recognized who it was. Matt Wallace reacted in shock. Is that who I think it is that she is hugging? The same man who went viral after Charlie's death as Kirk 2.0. And now he's running events with Erika. Some of Erika's supporters say she's just an affectionate person and that people are reading too much into the moment. Others believe this is part of something much bigger. The timing of this Erika Kirk/Kirk 2.0 controversy, while Iranian drones are reportedly striking Kuwait refineries, feels to some like a deliberate distraction. Normally people tune out celebrity-style noise. But the contrast here is jarring. People are getting crushed by energy prices, and this is what dominates the cycle. At that point, this stops being just about a relationship. Tyler Boer is now claiming private conversations with Charlie Kirk as evidence that Erika stepping into power was part of the plan.
Do you see politics in her future down the road?
Yeah, it's funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, man, Erika could be so much bigger and better than me at almost everything. We laugh all the time about it because people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
But these are conversations no one else can verify. And Tyler Boer didn't say it just once. He went on multiple news shows after Charlie's death, pushing the idea that Erika for president wasn't some wild fantasy, but something he claimed Charlie actually wanted.
He had always looked up to Erika. He had always boosted Erika. Everyone always said Charlie would be president. Charlie always said that Erika would be president. So, we have the person that Charlie believed in and loved the most in this world.
Then Candace Owens steps in and openly mocks Tyler, accusing him of lying to everyone.
The days leading up, Erika said she stayed back because Charlie said home needs you. That's why she didn't go to the September 10th event. They were just on a tour. Charlie was just every day telling people that family's the most important thing. But privately, when he sat down with Tyler Boer, he was like, Erika's going to be president.
And then she directly calls him out over his Romania ties.
And speaking of the ick, we should talk about Tyler Boer, Erika's friend, her dear friend, who introduced her to her husband, but for the life of her, she cannot remember how they met.
She accuses him of gaslighting people and hiding behind a polished, clean-cut image, acting like he's just a good guy, while suggesting there may be much more happening behind the curtain.
Sent me a recent conversation that they had on social media with Tyler because he gets a little snippy on social media, gaslights people, pretends he's a good guy. And this is his excuse for why he was in Romania in 2010. It's good to see it.
Now Tyler tried to brush it off, saying he studied Romanian simply because it complemented his Russian studies, and that not everything is a conspiracy. But Candace clearly isn't buying that explanation.
Is just ironic that you happened to go right when the military base got set up and when Dennis Franzwey was there. I don't buy that. And I got interested because I said a Romanian program. That sounds unique. Does Arizona State University have a Romanian program? And they do, and the history of it.
But some believe it may go even deeper than that. One user wrote, Tyler installed Erika. Erika protects Tyler. Tyler promotes Erika. They both have each other's backs. Then the post takes an even darker turn, suggesting they both know more than they're saying about what happened to Charlie Kirk. To be clear, those are allegations and speculation, not proven facts. But if Erika is now publicly standing beside Tyler, backing him, building with him, then people are no longer just asking who steps up next. They're asking, why him? 'Cause think about it, out of everyone in the orbit, why is the one person closest to the financial questions now the one moving closest to power with Erika? And that is why people aren't just asking whether Tyler is replacing Charlie. They're asking whether this was always the direction things were being quietly pushed toward long before anyone was supposed to notice. And if that's true, then that Vegas moment was never random at all.